Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 1 mil special of Cold Ones. I'm your host, Anything for Views. Joining me today is my co-host, Max.
Hello, I'm the co-host. How you going? Hey, Chad, what's up, bro? Thanks for having me on. No?
Can you put a Coke Zero in the oven in the fridge for me? Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very 1 mil fucking.
Welcome to a very 1 mil special.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another. Hello, everybody.
Wait, sorry. I got an idea. I can't help but notice there's a tram going past.
The mics can't
Joji Spoon. Hey, Chad, how are you?
I can't complain. Chad, today's sponsors. Gamer Subs. Head over to gamersubs.gg/cold ones to get 10% off Gamer Slop. And as always, cool shirts. Head over to shirts with a Z.cool and use code Cold Ones for 10% off. And for a limited time, I think we're selling posters for Cold Ones.
How many?
Let's do a random number generator through the goggle. Hey, Google.
Through the goggle.
Generate a number between 1 and 500.
21?
Did it say 21?
21.
Did it say 21?
Hey, look, it's a poster, you guys.
There's the poster. We signed them. We're making 210 of them. That's close enough to the 21.
Oh, and they will be signed. Did we say that?
And they will be signed. Today is our 1 mil special. We've got a little piece of paper here that intern Scott hooked us up with. Say hello, intern Scott.
Hello, intern Scott.
Today, we'll be going over the timeline of Cold Ones, starting with the very first episode.
Coming out, ? Featuring Pyrocynical and Dolan Dark.
Correct. And we'll be going into how it started, what happened, what led up to the episode, and what happened after the episode. The stuff you never saw. Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
So Scott and I originally had this idea of a podcast because at the time we were uploading on the channel weird vids. We did the merch delivery video. We also did the TanaCon one.
What are you talking about? All 4 of your original vids?
Yes. And I was like, podcast. And we got in and it sucked. Somehow Scott put it together to make it look good. It was a dog shit episode. It was really awkward to film.
Why was that?
Because Pyrocynical wouldn't drink. He wouldn't touch his drink. I think we had 2 beers throughout the whole thing, which we filmed an hour for. And then Dolan Dark Jay was sitting there like, should have another drink. And he was like, nah, mate, I'm just still finishing my one he gave me. We got to the end of it and I was like, that sucked. Like, delete all the footage. I hate it. And then they went back to their Airbnb because they were here visiting. And then I never thought much about it. Scott brought me this 20-minute video and was like, let's upload this. And I was like, no. But we did anyway.
Did you watch it?
I watched it and I was like, man, you really salvaged this because it was dog shit, like when we filmed it.
Hey, don't be too hard on yourself, man. It was pretty good.
It wasn't my fault it was dog shit, it was his fault.
All right, yeah.
Don't worry, he had a redemption arc over here, so we'll get to that later. It blew up. It got like, well, at the time it got like 500K or 600K and I was like, the fuck? This is epic. And then we looked at the ad rates for it and I was like, honey.
You were like, we're onto something here.
And then I was like, I'll do this one more time with Max. I tried to hurl myself off the balcony after that episode.
That's a common theme for after Cold Ones. You always get depressively suicidal.
I'm like, that episode sucked.
Yeah, I think that's after any filming session, Chad says. Is that salvageable? Delete it. It sucks.
But like, it's only a 2-story building. If I threw myself off, at worst, I would have had a sprained ankle.
If you fall head first into the pavement,
It was a garden bed underneath me.
yeah, what, made of cement? If you hit your head, like, people can have worse falling off a bike if they hit their head.
So it could have ended here.
It could have ended there, yeah.
And then we uploaded that, and still at the time I was like, this is just experimental. Like, I did this for money. And then I had a sponsorship for it.
Look at you now.
From Gamer Subs. I had a sponsorship from Gamer Subs for that one. And I think they gave us like X amount of money, and I was like, sweet, I can pay my rent. So we did that one. We tweeted that out, and Sean Evans replied to your tweet.
Oh, yeah.
And Sean Evans said like,
Get me on the podcast. I can drink like an Australian. And he's been very enthusiastic about collabing for a while, but then kind of went radio silent. And I don't think we're getting any collabs with Sean Evans anymore.
Fast forward now to this episode. Once like Sean Evans gave us his seal of approval, I kind of felt like he loves it. I was like, he loves it. We need to do another one. And I was like, Max, it won't be the same without you, brother. We killed it. Because this was like the first episode that like came to light that I was happy with. The recording was never dog shit.
I think you were like 3.5 million views.
It must be good.
Let's just make that again.
Exactly.
Let's just put Pink Eye in the thumbnail again.
And at the time, the Misfits just moved to Melbourne and formed their little gay boy band. So I was like, well, let's get Swagger Souls on because more clicks, money. We had him on. We killed it. It was a good episode. It's one of our highest performing episodes yet. And at that point, we didn't upload for like a month or a little bit, about 2 months because we didn't have any ideas for guests. Why was Nerd City here again?
He came just for cold ones, I think.
Oh, it was Christmas. He was here for Christmas. He spent Christmas Day. I spent Christmas Day with Nerd City. And then the Fair Barn episode is when it all like was like solidified. It was like
The Fair Barn ep.
so the Fairbarns have been following us for quite a while, and I'd spoken to them here and there just on Instagram, just like with most people. And you know, we're looking for more guests. And at the time, I was like, well, let's get some Australians, some local people, and they lived in Adelaide. We put them on a flight. We booked them an Airbnb, which turned out to be a bad idea. Tell us about the Airbnb because I don't know much about it. But ever since
Well,
that night, Max has been
My
like,
Airbnb account is fucked.
That's basically the end of story. Well, what happened? They landed, and did we go to the Airbnb first? Or?
no, they landed and we're like, let's fuck with them because we were filming the video the night they landed, the vlog on your channel, the grog night, like the party one. I don't remember what it was called. How to Drink Like an Australian. That's what we titled it. And they landed and we sent Cool Shirts employee Laura, who's the redhead girl who does customer complaints at Cool Shirts. We said, we're going to pretend that we hired them a driver and she's going to pick them up in the car and she's just going to fuck with them. So she's going to play heavy metal music. She's going to drink out of a flask. She's going to bring loaves of bread for them and a fucking cold chicken. We fucked with them. They got here. We went out. We got fucked. And that night was messy. Let's revisit what happened after they all went. They got into a fight after they left. We got fucked. Some guy set his chest on fire.
They didn't get in a fight.
Hey?
They didn't get in a
There was an Instagram of him bleeding.
Yeah,
He
he just got a
that's-
nosebleed.
I got blood nose. He told me that they got into a fight.
Yeah, they was fucking with you, bro.
Oh, okay.
You got trolled, bro. Troll face. We go to the Airbnb. We take them in there. They were already fucking around while we were just stopped off before we went off to do the vlog. They were moving furniture.
They were fighting over who gets what bedroom for
Yeah, I think they were already fucking it up. And I was like, all right, settle down, boys. We went out into the hallway and there was a woman there who probably lived next door. I was feeling a little nervous. But it was what it is. I thought they would have enough respect, but it turns out they didn't because the review that I got on my account was like a 0 out of 10.
And they were only here for like 2-3 days. So I don't understand.
We never saw the result after they left of the Airbnb, but the review said
it
that
all.
it was trashed. It was fucked.
And at that point, we were like, this is it. From here, it's like do or die. We didn't have anyone lined up. The Misfits had all gone back to their respected countries, so we couldn't use them for revenue. So we thought to ourselves, let's do an American trip.
While we were over there, we were going through Twitter being like, what guests are good that we like that we want to get on.
Yeah, and it was
there
really
there was a
short.
couple of different guests that we reached out to that didn't end up doing it.
Including women. There were some women guests that we messaged and they said no. So we have tried.
What woman?
Didn't we ask Pokimane? She said just.
Yeah,
I was-
Pokimane. Fuck you. We didn't have a studio lined up. We got there and I was like rushing to find a place to film. Thankfully, the nice people at Studio 71,
Super
Super
73.
71, they hooked us up with their studio and we basically just ripped their set off and pulled it off here because this is it now. We did the Jax Films video. We'll start with that one. We went and met them a day prior to doing or a couple days prior to doing the Jax Films one. One of my friends hooked me up with them and because he like did posts for them and helped them out and stuff. I don't actually know what he did. I'm just retarded. Anyway, we went and filmed there. The first night with Jack, I really didn't pace myself. I got really drunk. I embarrassed myself. I said some naughty words in front of them. At one point, we were talking about money because they were talking about like their company and they were like, this is how we got off the ground and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about money. And I had a Gucci watch, which was a gift. I started smashing on the table. I'm like, fuck money.
Yeah. I left a good impression.
And I was so drunk, I invited these random people to the table, and they started talking about how they do crack and shoot up heroin.
Yeah, that was a night filled of a lot of things.
To put the garnish on top of it, we're walking to In-N-Out Burger to get
I was
some.
very drunk.
And
Just-
Max sees a police officer in front of them, and Max says the following.
I think I said, are those the cops? I'm going to fucking kill them. We should fucking kill those police. Let's kill the police. Something like that. Okay, was it loud? I don't know. Yeah. Since then, though, there's been multiple occasions where I've attempted to kill a few officers. I don't know. I think it's like a demon that lives in my soul. Because I wouldn't say that if the police were here now.
This is Chad. He's doing some online banking right now, like a boss. Like a gamer boss. Like a gamer boss who games like a boss, but his network is unsecure. Which means he's being watched. As he banks, Max can see everything he's doing. He can see all his money and all his account info, and Chad has no idea because Chad has brain damage. Wait, no. He doesn't have NordVPN. Now let's see how this would have looked if Chad had used NordVPN. NordVPN acts like a smokescreen against prying eyes, so not only can no criminals nor corporations look at your data,
Oh, I can't see shit!
they will also contract severe bronchitis if they try.
I have bronchitis.
What's more, the smokescreen also works against IP geolocation, so you can be anywhere in the world and watch any content you like.
NordVPN encrypts and protects your data so no one else can see it unless you want them to. So, take control of your internet experience today by downloading NordVPN. Hey, you're looking. Get him, Nord! Fuck! Right now you can get 70% off your 3-year plan plus 1 month for free by going to nordvpn.com/cold1s. That's only $3.49 a month. A small fee to pay for internet security. That's nordvpn.com/cold1s. Or use code cold1s and get secured today. I feel so secured.
Take control of your internet experience today with NordVPN.
When we didn't have the studio, weren't we originally going to get a fucking awesome Airbnb or something?
No, we're going to film at Banks' house, and then he flaked on us.
Banks be like, man, you guys are like my brothers. I love you guys so much, man. You can fucking stay in the house. You can live there as long as do anything you want. We show up and he's like, I'm leaving. I'm not in the country.
I remember he said, he's like, yeah, you guys can still use the house. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, we just rock up like, hi.
A place where Rice Gum lives too. I'm like, what's up, Rice? We're here to film in your house. Please keep it
On our
down.
own, yeah. Yeah, stay in your room, play Fortnite, bro.
We filmed this one next. And in the Gus episode, that was nice. He had to go do something for Comedy Central the next day at 7 a.m. And he said, just some light grogging tonight, boys. I have to get up at 7 a.m. There was no light grogging.
He turned the fuck up. Mad respect.
Shaved his mustache off.
Which he later told us that he would have done it for 200 because it grew back like 2 days later. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, what did we pay him? $2,000.
$2,000.
2000 US, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he.
At least we got the title out of it. But I mean, what did it get? 600,000 views?
We did not make
Not
the money
good enough.
back on that. He swindled us. Fuck you, Gus.
Man, let's just go through all the guests and tell them how much we fucking hate them.
He went home at like 3 a.m., blasted out of his mind, sent us a text in the morning when he was getting ready at 6 o'clock, said, I'm so fucking hungover. I don't know how I'm going to do this today.
He needed to use his voice as well, I remember.
And he
it
had
was like
no-
a singing thing, and he was just fucked. Yeah, now what the fuck? What did this asshole do?
Michael was a bit of a lightweight. I think it's because he's 5'1", Philippine, just some lightweight, but he still like kept up with us, but he was just fucked. We originally had a lift down to the place and we were gonna drive, but he rocked up and we're like, our lift, Ali never arrived. Looks like you have to drive us. Michael drove us down. We got lit. Scott drove us back and we're parking in Koreatown and he was backing up his car and he backed up into a fire hydrant.
I don't know if it's America or Koreatown, but the gutters are really high. So in Australia, you could back up a little bit over the gutter and just go over the top. But in America, the gutters are like fucking 5-foot walls.
Man, we were really high.
So I
remember that.
dinged it. And when I met William Osman, the first thing he said to me was, are you the guy that fucked up Michael Reed's car? the whole time I was like, he's fine with it. It's okay.
You fucked his car, and we fucked his laptop on that episode too, because someone spilt a drink on it.
I think he spilled the grog on it.
No, that was you.
He's got that offline TV money, man. He's fine. He's got
So
like
we're sorry,
7
Michael.
Teslas probably.
Doesn't matter. We're sorry, Michael. He made a cut for the app, then promoted it in a video.
No, he didn't. He put it out before we
Oh, he
released that
did.
thing.
Fuck you, Michael.
Yeah, we were like, hey man, just hang on, bro. Don't release it yet. We can get some promotion. We're gonna release our app soon.
At least he hasn't gone on any competitors' podcasts or anything. Like, at least he stayed exclusive to Colwell. I don't think he's been on any other podcast. Definitely not one with a similar audience. Where are you going?
I'm going to hang myself. Fast forward ages. Colossal is Crazy came to Australia. I can't remember why. I think he was homeless. He ended up living with me.
He was in Thailand.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
was in
close by.
Thailand and he had to go back to the UK and he had to stop. He stopped over here to film the podcast and he stayed here with us for a couple of weeks. And Dolan flew over from New Zealand to hang out with us. So he's like, fuck it, I'm close too. And How to Basic was here too.
Maybe tell the story about the Nutella in your asshole.
We're all sitting around the Airbnb one night smoking weed. I remember there was specifically weed smoking. And Colossal's Crazy was like, I'm thinking about moving here. And Dolan
You got to do the voice if it's going to be animated.
I'm a posh prick. I was thinking about moving here. And Dolan Dark was, yeah, oi, I'm gay. He was like, I'll move here too. And then we we're like, How to Basic, you should move here as well. And he was like, no. He said, I will move here if Chad eats a whole jar of Nutella out of my asshole. And I said, I'll do it. Go into the shower and clean out your asshole. I'll grab this whole fucking jar of Nutella and I will scoop it in your ass and I will eat it out if it moves you move here. And this conversation, it almost happened. Because How to Basic is, he's not gay, but he's definitely the kind of person that would do something, that he's done worse things for the meme.
Yeah, he's a man of the meme.
But he came here after we filmed the PewDiePie episode and lived with me for 3 months. That was hell because I just can't live with people. Fast forward another month. Max messages PewDiePie.
That was an absurd process of you just like messaging PewDiePie, abusing him. I think you said you were going to ground Marzia into like a fine paste or something like that.
You threatened to kill his wife.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And then you were already going to the UK for a holiday, just a couple's holiday with your girlfriend. And you said, I'm going to be in UK on this date. Will you do a podcast? And he was like, yes.
He'd kind of been on and off about saying, yeah, I'm open to this, but we had to lock it in.
Yeah.
And I said it like multiple times, like, you have to confirm. If we can't just fucking have all of us fly out here and then you just don't show up. He fully confirmed like multiple times.
2 days before you left for the UK, he gave a date. And at the time, I didn't have a home because I just moved out of my home. I was living with you. And I was staying in an Airbnb with Colossal. Colossal left a day before me. And one day after he left, you get a message saying, this is the date PewDiePie has confirmed. You must come to the UK. And we had to leave within 3 days. I think it was like 3 days.
Yeah, we booked it like really quickly. I had
Yeah.
to tell my girlfriend that I was missing her birthday.
Yeah, and anniversary. Birthday and anniversary.
But
And
she understood. It's PewDiePie. It's all
she
good.
still to this day holds it against him. I was like, is this really happening? Because I've got this Airbnb booked for 2 weeks while I'm looking for a house. And I lost a 2-week Airbnb because I had to leave. So this Airbnb just sat there for 2 weeks not being used.
Yeah, well, we went to London and we basically just got like fucked up for like 4 days.
I just remember constantly drinking with you.
Yeah, we had a good time in London.
That was you were off having your couple's holiday because you were like, leave me alone, I'm on a couple's holiday, you and Scott can be gay together.
You had a girl over one day and I just went for a walk around London taking photos of everything.
Yeah, so we got this girl over who I've known for a little while, just because I met her in Australia and she lived in the UK at the time. And I was like, I've been tuning her for a while. I'm like, let's hang out. And we hung out, we got drunk and stuff like that. And at the end of the night, she was trying so hard to fuck Scott. It was like embarrassing for me. So I just like, I was like, Scott, why are you so sexy? And like,
Stop being so sexy.
so we went down to Brighton. We hopped on a train.
We nearly filmed a Jacksepticeye episode as well.
But he fucking flaked on us
Yeah.
too.
He-
Fuck you, Jack.
He was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna come around. Let's do something. I think he initiated it as well.
and then he just went fucking
And then
radio
he
silent on
Yeah,
us.
he just went radio silent.
I think he messaged us to hang out and we were just like,
podcast.
Yeah, it might have.
And he was
yeah,
like,
maybe that was it.
maybe not
Maybe
top
that
of the
was it.
morning.
Maybe that was it. Sorry, Jack. We were there on business.
I don't know. We can look at the DMs. We can
Yeah.
figure it out.
We were there for business, Jack. Sorry. I was on a dual band for the 2-hour train ride, so I was just funneling grogs.
Oh yeah, you had a huge jewel obsession.
I got like a bubble in my brain from dueling, like a really bad headache, so I quit.
A bubble. I don't
I
like the
felt
sound
like
of
there was a
that.
bubble in my brain.
I don't like that visual.
Pyro's cynical, Colossal is crazy, Pyro's editor Ramsey all followed us to Brighton just to get that
They were like, "Where's PewDiePie? You guys hanging out with PewDiePie?
fucking.
You're in Brighton? Yeah, no problem. We can show up there."
Sive hung out with us for the whole day while we're there because PewDiePie was filming. And Sive showed us around Brighton and showed us where to get stuff and hung out with us and helped us set up for the podcast. So shout out to Sive. You may steal memes, but you're an alright bloke. And then we were just in our head, I was thinking, because at the time we were going to film at PewDiePie's studio, then he sent us a photo and we're like, that's too small. So we ended up just compromising and filming in the Airbnb.
The one that looked like a fucking
Crack den. It was
No,
literally
like
a crack den.
Wait, the floor was sloping into the middle or
The
something.
building was tilting.
Yeah, I feel like it was gonna collapse.
I had 2 suitcases that trip because I had one that was just full of gear, and we went to the UK on like a tourist visa as well. So I was
Yeah.
like sweating in customs, being like, "Are they gonna ask me about this suitcase full of just like obvious camera
Cameras and
equipment?"
microphones and a mixer. Yuri packed a screwdriver kit in the suitcase.
No,
So-
not the suitcase, the carry-on.
Carry-on, sorry.
Yuri
So
put a
immediate-
full screwdriver kit.
Immediately we get pulled up from the fucking customs for a fucking screwdriver kit in our bag. What am I gonna fucking do? Repair someone to death? I'm sure there's worse things you can bring on a fucking flight.
The Airbnb that we were in at Brighton was like up like 3 flights of stairs. So we lugged all the suitcases up that. And then we moved all the furniture around to make it set ready.
Yeah.
And we got a knock on the door from this dude in like a stab-proof vest. Like
Yeah, it was
stab-proof, I
it
don't
was a
know.
cop and he had a noise complaint and we thought like we weren't being that too loud. And then Kat was like, no, it must be someone downstairs. This was our first impression of the Airbnb. We just rocked up and moving suitcase and we're like, oh, we're already in trouble for like banging around and moving shit.
Yeah, we're gonna jeopardize the PewDiePie episode. We won't be able to
Already.
film it.
And then about 5 minutes later, Kat goes downstairs to check out what's going on. The people on the ground floor were smoking crack in their Airbnb.
Yeah, literally.
And the host who stayed on the second floor wanted them kicked out. So she called the cops and I don't know how the cops ended up in our room.
No, it's like the security guy that they hire.
Oh, the security guard ended up in
Yeah.
our room. But yeah, the guys downstairs got kicked out for smoking
They were,
crack.
they were blasting music and smoking, crack.
PewDiePie showed up with a bottle of very nice whiskey, so that was a very nice first impression. We went out to a bar after the podcast, just a local Brighton bar, had 2 people in it, closed at 1 a.m. or midnight. We drank until then.
I think it was full. I think
It was
literally
it was
full.
kind of full because everything in Brighton was shut at like 11 p.m.
Yeah, I think Chad's brain's fried.
We were in the bar, and because there was one bartender, it was taking so long to get drinks. But PewDiePie, before he left the Airbnb, because we opened up 3 bottles of whiskey and we drank like half of each, he was like, are you guys gonna take this home or drink these? We're like, nah. So he fucking millionaire took 3 half-empty bottles of whiskey and was gonna take them home with him, and we took him to the bar before we went home. And because the bartenders were taking so long to serve us, this millionaire with 100 mil subs says fuck it and starts drinking out of the whiskey bottle he brought from the podcast in the bar.
But also, we all did as well.
Well, we all did too, but we just had a good time. PewDiePie was like, better get back to the wife and kids. Jumped on his bicycle, put the grogs in the front basket, pedaled off into the night. Never saw him again. Unfollowed me the next day.
And then we went to Birmingham.
Birmingham. Oh, that's right. We went there with Pyro for his birthday, right?
Yeah.
And Scott and I went there with Colossal is Crazy. We grogged. We booked an Airbnb. And Scott was like, I really want weed. This was the night
Well,
in Birmingham.
Here's what happened. We went out to lunch with Pyro, and it was like 1 p.m. and we got fucked up. Like we got really drunk at lunch, and then
I
we
burnt
just,
my hand on the fucking...
Yeah.
I had
we
like,
have that
I had like
video.
30-degree burns on my hand.
Fire hot.
And I was just like, Pyro wanted to go clubbing or something, and I was like, I'm tired as fuck because I've just gotten wasted at 5 p.m.
I think we got to the Airbnb and we're like, fuck that.
That's where I lost my fucking piece of my tooth. Was that day? in Brighton. I bought some new clothes, and you know how they have the tags on them, and you don't.
Oh, you
have,
tried to bite it
don't have
off.
something? Yeah, I went to bite it off, and the fucking chip of my tooth fell off.
So you ever get
Well,
that-
because I already had a little bit of a cap there, which was old, and then it broke off, and I haven't got it fixed since.
we were in the Airbnb, fucked, we're tired, we're still hungover from the night before, and Scott just comes up with the whole, let's get some weed. I'm like, where the fuck are we gonna get weed? And Scott, as a joke, says, tweet
it
get
out,
a fan
bro.
to deliver it. And I'm like, that will never work. And me being tired, drunk, I'm just like, fuck it. I tweet out, anyone in Birmingham have, in brackets, not weed? I get a DM. It's not like a, hey man, big fan. I do have some weed I can hook up. It's, call this number. I deleted the tweet like 2 minutes after posting it because I was like, that's fucked, so I delete it. And Scott's like, just call the number. This guy's selling weed. We can deliver.
I was like texting him from my number.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't do an international number, fam. You got to call me from a British number. So I was trying to convince Colossal to use his phone.
No, Pyro. Colossal didn't have a phone.
Oh, yeah, Pyro.
And Pyro's like, you are not calling drug dealers from my phone. And we had
Yeah.
to convince him for 20 minutes.
It was the shittest Airbnb ever. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to kill myself. We have like a TV that's about.
The TV was made in the 80s.
And we weren't going out again. I was just like, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Let's do something. You and I went to some car park under like Sainsbury's or some shit.
It was a public holiday as well, so everything was closed.
Yeah. Two guys pulled up in like a Volkswagen Golf.
Very nice car, and I was scared shitless. And they were probably the nicest fucking drug dealers or just random people I'd ever met in my life. And he pulls out all these fucking containers and he's like, what you want? Like, have a smell, like, pick what you want, like, being very nice, like, do you like this? Like, I can give you this much. Like, this is about, he was like going into detail about it. It was very lovely.
And I was kind of nervous, so I got way more than we actually needed.
Yeah, and Scott was like, I don't want to be robbed.
Don't want to waste their time.
And to end the story, we got the weed.
Do you remember what we did with the weed?
We went downstairs before our flight and we still had the weed on us.
And I was like, we need to get rid of this before we get to the fucking airport.
So Scott looks across the lobby at some random guy having a cigarette outside.
I walked up to him and we had cigarettes. We had cigarettes. And I was like, you smoke. Do you want these cigarettes? I don't smoke. I bought them like while drunk. I don't fucking want them. Do you want them? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, sweet. Gave them to him, walked back to Chad. And I was like to Chad, you know what? Maybe he might take the weed as well. And Chad went up to him and was like, do you smoke weed? And he was like, oh, like sometimes, man. He was like, why do you ask? And Chad was just like, well, we have a fucking shit ton of weed. And he's like, oh, I won't use it, but I could probably give it to someone who will. And he just took it. And he was from like Byron Bay, Australia.
Yeah.
So you trusted him.
Could have been a cop, Scott.
He's the one taking the drugs. We weren't selling them or anything.
Yeah, we gave him some for free. And it was a lot of weed.
I mean, we were.
It was like 200 pounds worth of weed.
No, it was not. That's worth
No,
like
no,
over
like,
$100,000.
200 pounds. No, like in
Ah.
currency. British pounds. It was like 200 British pounds worth of weed. And that was the flight home. And then you came back a few days later after you enjoyed your holiday. And the app went live.
And then it got yellow dollar signed.
And then it hasn't fucking moved an inch since then.
But it had a good run.
That app put this studio together, pretty much.
Yeah, that app, because we just funneled sponsors into it. It paid for everything in here. Paid for the 2 neon signs, the plant walls. So we should call this the PewDiePie studio, not the Color One studio. So thank you, Felix. Fuck you. Eat shit.
Weren't you really nervous filming with him, bro?
Yeah, and he abused me the whole fucking episode.
I think he was just an asshole.
And then he sent me this message like, hey man, I just read the comments on Cold Ones. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be mean to you. Then he unfollows me. What the fuck is wrong with this cunt? The fame's got to him, man. Ever since that T-Series battle, he hasn't been the same. And then we get to...
Fitz episode. What happened there, Chad?
Filmed the episode, knocked it out, went out to dinner, got drunk. Touch
Yeah.
base. That was your first time meeting him as well.
Touch base. Isn't that what Fitz did with his best mate's girlfriend's pussy?
Oh. Fast forward, Churdleys. I've got some stories about this man. I asked him 6 months ago. So back here with the Jax Films episode, I said to him, you should come on Cold Ones. You should fly here. He's like, yeah, man, I might. And then one day I just get this, after not speaking to him for like 2 or 3 months, or the messages I had with him were so brief, I just get a screenshot of a flight. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm coming to Australia. I'll see you in 3 days. So I get an Airbnb. I line it all up. He gets here. This was probably my most favorite guest in terms of spending time together. Because it was a roller coaster. I never knew what to expect. There was coke, there
gonna
was
be in
alcohol,
prison
there
soon,
was
I
porn
think.
stars. He gets here, we book an Airbnb. First night, he's fucking. Night one, he gets here, we get the Airbnb, we immediately go out. It's just a night full of alcohol and like Tinder women. And then I was like, I have to go to Sexpo for this promotional party. I said to him, I'm like, the Airbnb's still booked for the next 4 days. Do you want to come? He's like, absolutely. Porn stars. Like, let's do it. Let's kill it. And I'm like, Scott, you have to come with me. We have to film this. Like, I was like, there's no way we're not going to film this. We're going to get a really good age-restricted video out of this. And we did. And Scott comes to the Airbnb the night before the flight and says he's going to crash on the couch. And we're going to get a good night's sleep because that flight was at like 7 a.m. in the morning. Scott comes over. We're chilling. We're just vibing. We're drinking waters.
Well, you were out at the time.
But yeah, I went out on a Tinder date and left Scott at the Airbnb by himself with Churdleys. Then Churdleys had a girl come over and Scott messaged me and said, hey, Churdleys is fucking. I don't feel comfortable. Can I come hang out with you on your Tinder date? And I'm like, sure. At this time, I was making out with my Tinder date too. So we went to a bar together. Scott and I kind of like, she noticed other people in the crowd of people that the bar we went to. And she was hanging out with them. So Scott and I went and got some drinks. And by the time I came back from getting drinks, this chick was making out with another guy, wasn't she?
Possibly.
Either way, she was batshit insane. I didn't want to spend one more waking minute with her. So we're messaging Churdleys every hour, like, alley updates. Is the woman gone? We don't want to come back to the Airbnb while you're fucking. Scott and I just drank. Kept drinking. At one point, a meth head walks into the bar wearing a backpack.
And starts hitting on the girl that you were with.
Oh, yeah, he does. That's right. I'm still talking to her at this point.
This guy comes into the bar. He's one of those guys who looks fucked. He makes you uncomfortable seeing
His presence
him
scares you.
and just being like, you look like you're going to do something fucked. He goes over to the girl that you were with and her friend who she met there. They look visibly uncomfortable. And he kind of moves away, sits down with his other group. I'm just like, you were making me uncomfortable, but like, whatever. You're doing your thing. That's fine. I look over 10 minutes later. He's like holding some Asian guy's head down by the neck. And the Asian guy's just like doing this as if like
Hands
it's
up,
it's like some sort of sports game, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing a foul or something. So one of the friends goes and gets a bouncer. The bouncer grabs the guy and is like, you're leaving. And the guy's like, all right, turns around, but then immediately spins around again and throws a punch. That's when I levitated and the beams came out of my eyes and I vaporized him instantly.
Scott spear tackles the meth head and holds him down, and you know
Ups
everyone's
him.
getting involved at this point, and Scott's just strangling this meth head to death.
I ripped his head.
I'm trying to intervene, but people like holding me back. Like, nah, man, don't get involved. It's between them two.
So I had the guy in like a bear hug because I was just like, I'm just going to
Chokehold. He was
incapacitate him.
choking the life out of him.
And then the venue manager comes out, sees what's going on, like this guy's been punched. Some cunt has another dude in a bear hug, which was me. So he thinks that I'm the instigator. So he puts me in a headlock, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna do anything about this because like it's kind of a gentle headlock. But I was just like, I'm not the dick here. And then they eventually throw him out, and the guy comes back and he's like, hey, sorry about that, man. Have some
Scott explains,
alcohol.
I was just holding him down because there was something happening, and the venue owner's like, you're a hero. You're a Superman. Get this man drinks for the rest
Get
of
this
the
man
night.
a beer.
And for the rest of the night, Scott is being just spoon-fed free drinks from the venue manager. And there's no returning from this point. We're fucked. It's 4:30 in the morning. We're cutting it down to the last minute. I'm thinking in my head, Scott, let's leave the bar now. We're going to get back to the Airbnb in time to wake up Churdleys, who must have his stuff packed. He must be ready to leave. You know we have a flight at 7 in the morning. Our stuff's packed. Let's go. We get back to the Airbnb. At this point, Scott's already filming. He's like, this is vlog. We walk into the Airbnb, like, expecting Churdleys to be zipping up his suitcase, like, you boys ready to go. We swing open his bedroom door. He's naked with this fucking whore in his bed.
She was
We're
a
like,
nice lady.
she was pretty nice, actually. She returned the laptop charger, bless her heart. And we miss our flight. We get to the fucking airport, and I say to the flight attendant, sorry we're late. We're sorry we missed our flight. Our Uber driver got pulled over and drug tested and tested positive for amphetamines. Complete lie. Fucking fabricated lie. It was my fault. We were wasted. And she's like, not a problem. She changes our flight to the next one for free.
That was fucked. I was so drunk. We went through airport security. I was just floating on through. You had the hippo in your bag as well.
Yeah, we stole a hippo from the Airbnb, which is still here.
Down there.
The fucking security guy tried to search your backpack and you just had a hippo in it
Yeah,
and nothing
he
else.
drug searched my bag, and there's this fucking big wooden hippo in it.
Oh, it's fucking heavy too.
Yeah, I carried that. I fucking carried that.
Why would you steal that, Chad? That's stealing.
Funny.
I think this episode is gonna make everyone realize how much of a bad bloke you are.
Shut. Oh my fucking god! I don't remember it being that heavy. So moving on to How to Basic. How to Basic came to visit. We were strapped for guests, and it took a bit of convincing to convince him to.
Took a bit of convincing to convince him that we could get his voice distorted enough.
I don't know why he gives a fuck if people know what he sounds like.
Yeah, fuck him.
Did we do anything good with him while he was here?
Nah.
Just filmed.
Yep.
Then Super Mega came to visit. Super Mega came to visit just because we'd been harassing
Super
him.
mega.
We went camping with Zuckles. We did a vlog on that. Drank too much.
You crashed a car.
Crashed a car. I crashed a car. That's right. Yeah. We all bonded together. We got closer as friends. And now I'd happily say they're probably like one of my longtime friends. And I think I'll grow old and tell my grandkids about them.
Yeah, tell the grandkids you fucking subscribe to Super Mega on YouTube, bro. If they're in Australia again, we'll have them on again. We'll do it on the Super Mega app.
Yeah, Matt wants to do a redemption episode where he's like, I got too fucked up, man. Like,
Yeah, I think he's a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, I
that
think-
he was the most drunk guest.
well, it wasn't his fault. It's this fucking retard holding the camera's fault. Thinks it's funny to put 5 shots in some poor sucker's drink that weighs
It was
fucking
kind of
same
funny.
weight. Don't show his face. Blur it, Prezzo. He doesn't deserve it. Yeah, that was awesome. And then moving forward, Pyrocynical app 2.0. So the reason we did Pyrocynical again was because Max was never on the first episode. And that was kind of like the pilot for Cold Ones. The
Yeah.
original episode was the pilot.
Yeah.
This was exactly 1 year later we filmed this, because he came here again for PAX. It's kind of become a tradition. All the boys come here for PAX Australia. Did we do anything with him memorable while he was
Sex.
here?
Chad bought the golden joint. Maybe
We
smoke
smoked
Chad's
that.
golden joint. What is the golden joint? Tell us about the golden joint's origin.
I don't think I can disclose the origin of the golden joint.
Okay, that's
Just know that it was there.
It was just a golden
It was
joint.
the elusive golden joint.
It was a joint made out of gold and has some real good fucking cush in it.
It was a quest item.
It was a
Yeah,
quest
it
item.
was a quest item.
The quest was to smoke and see where the night took us. Next. Oh, this is a saga.
Too mad.
Too mad.
The most chaotic man on the planet.
I love the fella, but he's a psychopath. Too mad.
This is like when you be nice to the school shooter, so when it comes down to the crunch.
Scott and I went to America with the Misfits for TwitchCon. I hung out with Too Mad, and he came to our Airbnb one night, and we all smoked weed. He's like, "Can I crash here?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, you can crash here on the couch." Didn't leave for 5 days. Eventually, I was like, "You should come on Cold Ones." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll come to Australia." And I was like, "When?" He's like, "I'll come back with you." I'm like, "Okay."
It's incredible how quickly he decided that.
Yeah.
Like
and
he was just like, yeah.
I
I'll
think
come.
he's just a nomad with nothing.
No, he's
just
too mad.
yeah.
he is literally a nomad, though. All he has is like his laptop and his suitcase full of clothes. He goes anywhere.
Yeah.
And
And he
he-
had some good growth periods over here.
Yeah, and I think he taught me a lot about patience and how it grows thin very quickly. And he's funny as fuck.
He's popping now. He's popping.
He's bigger than us.
He's going ham.
He'll be the next PewDiePie.
No, Quibble Cop 3.0.
I got vodka in my notes. Next is the Zuckles episode.
From one madman to another.
Although this one went to a psychiatric ward, I still think this one was more crazy.
Yeah.
We were actually planning on getting Zuckles on a lot earlier. Well, he was meant to be like back here, but everyone has their ups and downs in life, and it was a bit delayed, but eventually happened.
We did a bunch of live streams. Wasn't he on 2 live streams or something?
Yeah, the live streams
Yeah.
for him showing up were like, we need someone funny. Let's call Zuckles, and Zuckles lives like an hour away.
Yeah, he was down. He was always down.
But shout out to Zuckles. May he forever fuck ponies.
Yeah, may you fuck ponies.
Now, you know how every season of a TV show always has that one season that sucks? You know that one?
Yeah.
It's like the last season of Game of Thrones.
Right?
That's when we get to here.
Okay, I thought you were saying it was Zuckles.
We enter the Keemstar saga.
You have to tell me. I don't think I watched that last episode, that last season of Game of Thrones.
It sucked.
What happened?
It sucked. Honestly, the episode wasn't that bad, but everyone hated it. So that's why I'm calling it the Game of Thrones. That was a good couple of weeks. We had a meetup. Keem didn't rent it. The people that flew him out to do the fundraiser rented him this really nice Airbnb. It's a shame you hate him so much because I feel like you would have gotten along with everyone.
I have snake AIDS.
And at this time, iDubbbz and William Osmond and all that were here as well.
Yeah.
And that all just lined up
Yeah, it was
weirdly.
a big clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Wait, so that was around when I got sick, where everyone got sick?
Everyone got sick. It was not corona. It was
that
the
was
flu.
cancer.
It could have been.
It
Corona,
might have
we
been
don't
early
know.
corona.
Pre-release, beta, Corona.
I think I was on the alpha.
I got
Ian?
that. It fucked me up.
I
worse
didn't
than
get
any
it.
flu.
Everyone got it, but I didn't.
It was really bad. That's what
How come-
it might have been the fucking coronavirus,
How
bro.
come myself and How to Basic, the two most unhealthiest people that hung out with you guys the entire time,
You
didn't
probably
get
already
sick?
had it, bro.
I didn't get sick. The Keemstar episode was great. There was a lot of stories that came out of the Keemstar episode. They were in the episode themselves. And although Keemstar was the most disliked episode, he's an asshole. I get it, but he's my asshole.
He's a powerful man.
I wouldn't say powerful, bro. I'll drink to that though. Cheers, brother.
To Keemstar.
May he
Die of AIDS.
no. We're closing in towards the end of the history of Cold One so far, and now we're up to the Baby No Money episode.
Baby, no money.
See, this is when you became gay right about here.
What?
This is where Max was like, no, I don't think I will leave the house ever.
What do you mean? I got fucking lit as
Oh,
fuck.
wait, never mind. I take it back. Yeah. Around here is where Max became not gay. Baby No Money arrived in Australia and messaged me before he came and was like, hey, I'm having this like secret concert to warm up for my Australian tour at Howler and Brunswick, near where I used to live. And we went to this concert with Lush Socks, all the Misfits. We get there, he's not drinking. We've already told this story on the podcast. You can go listen to it when we get there. The last show that he did before his tour ended was here. And like that just like, he had me up on stage. He had us up on stage doing shoeies at one point. That was at his other show. Like I went to like
Yeah, I
two
don't
music
remember that.
shows in the span of 2 weeks. Coming forward, the second last one, we have Raka Raka. The Raka Raka boys were
Raka.
pretty highly anticipated for us anyway, not the viewers. We have wanted to have them on since the very start. Like every time we talk about guests, we talk about Raka Raka. But they're all too busy and too cool for us hanging out with porn stars and fucking getting arrested to do the podcast. They finally came here and they finally filmed an episode with us. We filmed the episode, we knocked it out, we got fucking drunk. You threw up. We went back to the Airbnb. That was Laura's first week on the job. And they pissed off the next morning. And that was all she wrote. Good app. Most recent episode before this, Ian and the whole Smosh people showed up here for an event called Supernova. Who reached out to Ian?
Kat said that they were coming for Supernova.
We went out with him before a little bit, gave him kangaroo. We went to a restaurant and he had a kangaroo steak or something along the line, something kangaroo.
Something, yeah.
We had a few beers. He tried a few Aussie beers.
We had the most fucked Uber driver. It's like his one experience with an Uber
the
driver.
most Australian Uber driver. We hop in this Uber. What was the conversation?
I
that
don't know. I
ensued?
think he was like, I hate gays and I hate blacks. He said something
No, I
fucked.
think that was Chad.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What did do you actually remember what the Uber driver said?
Chad was saying something like about being gay or something, and the dude was like, "Oh, you're not a p***er, are you, mate?" Something like that.
And then he went, he was like the most stereotypical, like racist, homophobic Australian you could possibly meet. And when he found out,
Yeah, I think he was always like, "Yeah, I'm getting off soon. I'm going down the pub. Like, I'm gonna get on the piss."
you mind if I join you boys? And we're like,
Just like-
nah, business meeting.
Just like you don't get Uber drivers like that typically, and then the one time you're in a fucking cab, like an Uber with your guest from America, you get someone like that.
yeah, and it was fucked. The drive was fucked, but like kind of funny. And we hopped out of the Uber driver. We hopped out of the Uber driver's car. We hopped out of the Uber, and I was like to Ian, sorry, I kind of like exacerbated that because I like kept egging him on and making him say all this fucked Australian shit, like typical homophobic, racist Aussie dad.
Typical bloke.
Like, we finally fucking had a dinner. We brought him back here, and he was just PewDiePie 2.0. Like the cunt drank us under the table. And then after we finished,
And we got really lucky around this time because our Wish video just popped off. So I don't think that video would have done anywhere near as well, that podcast.
no.
So we're very blessed. We're happy with how things are going. I mean, by the time this comes out, the channel might be fucked.
From the
But
age
at the
restriction.
moment, it's going good. It's good.
And we went to the gamer bar that we always head to, GG Easy, shout out to them. And we had a few more drinks afterwards, talked to YouTube, and sent him on his way. Never heard from him again, as any other guest. Looking back over the history so far, everyone we interviewed, we never cared about the views. We just
never cared about.
well, we did, but we just interviewed people we liked, and all these people made themselves big. They killed it. Is that right?
Oh, so many of them are huge.
Some of them were big already, though.
Most of them are
obviously.
big.
Fuck.
We
All right,
wouldn't
let me
have
start
had 'em
again.
on.
Let me start again.
Listen, all these people, we got them on because we loved them. We liked them. We gelled with their content. We think creatively like these people. They're like-minded people. I don't think we've ever compromised by getting someone, well, except Keemstar, which I didn't go on that episode. But for everything else, there's never really been, you know, a person that we've had on that we've had to grit our teeth through. They've all been people that we've enjoyed.
And they're all slow burners. They're archives on the internet.
Oh, slow burners.
Listen, they might not get it.
Not that we care about the views, but
No, not that we care about. Let me finish. I need to get this off my chest. It's not about the views. They're all slow burners. No, listen.
That's such just
It's just
that word. Just putting that it just sounds so.
All right, let me reword it. This is an archive of stuff that we filmed with people that we enjoy. People like us, people that think like us, people that we enjoy the company with, people that we've had genuine fun experiences and memories with. That's all this is. It's an archive of memories, fun times, friends, drinks, from doing cocaine with porn stars to sinking fucking $1,000 bottles of whiskey with PewDiePie.
To eating Nutella out of someone's
asshole.
asshole.
You know, it's all here. And when I'm fucking 30 years old in my rocking chair, back and forth.
Jesus.
30 years
30?
old.
I mean, when 30 years down the track, when I'm 50, 60 years old in my rocking chair,
That's like almost 3 years for me, bro.
I'm gonna sit back in my rocking chair with all the fucking grandkids around me, and I'll be like, "Hey, Sonny, let me tell you about the time I had a basic almost ate Nutella out my asshole."
I think we're proud of everything we've put out as well. Like all these like Cold Ones episodes. And I think it's good that we took the direction that we did. Instead of doing like multiple single episodes, we started doing different videos instead of that, so we could keep this as like these one-off guest episodes.
Yeah.
Mike, what's your like weird guest that you'd want on? Mine is Ray William Johnson. I would love a Ray William Johnson
Okay.
episode.
If we're going down that route,
That route.
I told you it'd be like Simon Pegg or Nick Frost. If we could ever convince them, one or the other, or both, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
At some point, Elon Musk would be a possibility if we just
That's
if we don't fuck up too hard.
maybe. Drink your beer.
Here's the 1 mil subs.
To 1 million subscribers. To the next million.
It's 10 million, brother.
To the fans.
To the patrons
To Scott.
and to
To
Scott,
Uric the filmer.
to the intern Laura,
The intern.
and to Prezzo who isn't here.
To the
Prezzo,
editor.
oi, edit yourself in.
Prezzo, put a video of you deep throating a Subway in. Oi, you can put your Twitter on screen if you do that. Hey, check him out. Our editor's deep throating a Subway sandwich. Check him out on Twitter. Is this a Hitler speech or something?
What? No, come on, drink your grog.
To the Misfits.